Welcome to the Bit Scoop with Coop. I'm your host, Coop. Season 8 still going strong. Everybody that's listening right now on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Spotify, wherever you're listening to me at, thank you for tuning in. Now, today's guest I have on the show is Miss Daphne Reid. Now, Mrs. Reid has been seen on a lot of shows and different movies through her legendary career. She's also well known as the second Vivian Banks, or Aunt Viv, or Aunt Vivian from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, we will sit down, we will have a talk with her, we will see what's going on with her. Now, also, if you want to check the video version of the show, make sure you go to thebitscoopwithcoop.com where you can see episodes from season 1 all the way to season 8. Also on YouTube. Do not forget YouTube, youtube.com. Just look for the Bit Scoop with Coop. Make sure you click like and subscribe. Also, you can catch me on Facebook, facebook.com/the Big Scoop with Coop, and on Instagram at Big Scoop with Coop. All right, guys, enough about me. Let's go and have a talk with Miss Daphne Reid, and let's see what's going on with her.
You know what time it is? Time to hang out with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper. Hang with Mr. Coop, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Big Scoop with Coop. Of course, I'm your host, Coop. And like I told you, we do have a very, very, very special guest today. You might as well say she's America's favorite aunt. Also, she's been doing her thing, have a legendary career. And it's that the great part is her career is not even over. She's doing so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Miss Daphne Reid. Welcome to the show.
Hello, guys. How are you doing? Thank you
doing well.
Thank you.
Yes. How's your day going so far?
It's great day. Busy day today. Busy day.
I believe it. Now, Ms. Reid, like I told everyone before, your career is so legendary. You've done a lot in this business. And to name everything you've done, it's going to take about 5 episodes or a month plus just to name the list of what you've done already. But, you know, people have seen you on television. People have seen you in movies. People have seen you do some of everything, but they want to hear the story. When did you first realize that you wanted to become an actress?
I don't think I ever realized I wanted to become an actress. I'm a victim of opportunity.
Oh my gosh.
I was acting. My mother would tell me I've been acting since I was 3 months old, but I think I went to workshops when I was in high school and worked out with a group called the Group Theater Workshop that was run by Robert Hooks that bloomed into the Negro Ensemble Company in New York. So it grew up good. And I went away to college, so I didn't stay in the group. And I did a little bit of little show things at the school and just went on about my business. I didn't see in the 60s when I went to college that there was an opportunity for a Black woman to make a living being an actress. So I didn't think that would be a wise thing to do. So I started with wanting to be a teacher. And, you know, your parents don't support you wanting to be hungry. So they suggested just keep up with your education and see where that leads. And it led, and opportunities started coming. I first started modeling before I started acting, and was discovered by an agent in New York named Eileen Ford, who had a big agency back then. And I was flying back and forth from Chicago to New York while I was in school doing these little jobs. I was a junior model, so that means not runway. I was no diva. I was a little girl with freckles. So I got to do all these perky little things like the Girl Scout magazine
Ah.
and 17 magazine and Mademoiselle magazine. So I was doing editorials. And one day they brought me in to shoot. And it was just, oh, sit on the window over here, put this little red jacket on. No, just pull your hair over to the side. You don't need it. No, a little mascara, that's all. And I sat down on the window and some man came in with a camera. I don't think he took a whole roll of film. Shoot, 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 shoot. Okay, you can go back to school now. Okay, it's fine with me. I got paid. And about 4 months later, I was walking down the street and stopped at a newsstand because my face was staring at me on the news. It was the first Black woman on the cover of Glamour magazine. And it was as much surprise to me as it was to everybody else. So that kind of started me being noticed. I was still going along, not doing that. I was doing modeling in Chicago and Sears catalogs where you stand there with a tent pole or something. I mean, just silly stuff. And then I graduated from college. I graduated married and pregnant.
Oh, combination.
So I started living a life of, okay, now what am I going to do? Well, I've been doing all this modeling in Chicago. I'll just keep doing that. And ran up on some folks who were doing voiceovers. And voiceovers were kind of catchy. And you didn't have to put on makeup and you go in a studio and you read the words. So I had a big career doing that in Chicago. And then this guy named Robert Conrad, and this for you old heads. Robert Conrad was the original Wild Wild West guy, not Will. He was back then. And he was on this other show called Baba Black Sheep or something. But he was a famous actor who did commercials, and he was doing a TV show that was going to be shot in Chicago. So he scoured the agencies and said, hey, everybody come read these parts. And I read for a part, and we hit it off. We just had fun together. Well, my agent called me the next day, and she said, well, the script came, and your part's not in there. I said, okay. And I was going on about my business, and she called me the next day, and she said, you've been handwritten into the scripts. So Robert Conrad basically discovered me, put me in the series as a regular. And after that series was over and I moved to Los Angeles, he had another show called A Man Called Sloan. And I got to town and I said, hi, how you doing? He says, oh, good, you're here. I got a part for you next week. And I'm going, okay. And I got an agent. And I did a long form television show with him. And then we did a movie together, kind of like after school movie called Coach of the Year. Oh gosh, my memory's good today. And it's not always. And then it just kept going. I just kept getting jobs. I was in the right place at the right time in LA when they were looking for, okay, we can have a Black girl, but she got to be light-skinned because we don't know how these other folks are going to react. So we'll ease them in. Hey, okay, I'll take it. And while I was there, I re-met Tim Reid, who I used to model with in Chicago. And we hit it off, started dating, and I started doing WKRP in Cincinnati, did 2 episodes of that. And I got to meet all his friends and the directors and the writers. And opportunities just kept coming. And the writers after WKRP, they went on to other shows. Tim went on to another show, Simon and Simon. And some of the writers went to Simon and Simon. Said, oh, we'll put you in as Tim's girlfriend. I had 10 episodes of Simon and Simon. I mean, it was just I was in the right place in the right time. And I learned early in my career that you pay attention to all the things that are going on behind the camera so you know how to give them the best of you. And
Wow.
that's how my career got started.
Wow. Big shout outs to Tim Reed. Big shout outs to you,
Yeah.
man. You've done a lot also in his career. He have. Um and you're right. Legendary. Two legends coming together, bonding together. That's what I'm talking about. Now, Ms. Reed, you did say, you was there in the right place at the right time. But even though being there at the right place at the right time, sometimes some type of hurdles can come in your way. Now, what type of hurdles did you actually encounter trying to get to where you are today in your career?
Well, while I was doing commercials in Chicago, uh, on one certain day, I auditioned for a commercial for a white ad agency for a floor care product of some sort. And the same day, I auditioned for a black agency for McDonald's. And the next day, my agent called and she said, well, you weren't black enough for the black agency, and you were black, so the white agency didn't want you. I said, okay. So it was like you can't win either way. So I just went on with my career of doing voiceovers and narrations and training and doing all sorts of things that just kept me busy. And then the breaks started coming, and
Nice.
breaks were good.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen that's watching worldwide right now, please take notes from Miss Reed right now because she is kicking out knowledge of what she had to go through to get to where she's at today. And you see the success that she has received. So make sure you're taking down notes on this. It's something you don't want to miss. Now, Ms. Reed, we know, you've met so many people that help you out, but did you have any particular mentors? I know you mentioned some names already, but did you have any more mentors to help you out in the beginning of your career to help encourage you to keep going through all the no's that you received?
I I never took the no's personally. My philosophy is a director or a producer knows what they want, and they line people up, and when they see what they want, they pick it. Fine. I didn't lose a job. It was somebody else's job. When they pick me, it's my job. So I don't deal too much with what I didn't get that audition. Okay. You'll get another one or not. In the meantime, I am occupying myself. I sew, I do all sorts of things, photography. I fill my time and my space with things that I love to do. And I encourage anybody who wants to be an actor to have something with which you can eat. Have a job that feel kind of fuels some sort of passion in you that you really like to do and you want to act too. Okay, but do something while you're waiting to be chosen. Because to be an actor, you have to wait to be chosen,
So
unless you are
true.
creating your own projects.
So true. So true. Now, and that's the thing, like you said, waiting to be chosen. Now, we want to jump up into your career. Now, the show, when you became one of America's favorite aunts, you took the show and you ran by storm. You really did. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, people knew you as Daphne Reid, but I can just imagine in the 90s how many people called you Vivian Banks. I can
Still,
imagine and still do. Exactly.
yeah.
Now, how excited were you when you found out that you received that role to be America's favorite aunt on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
I was the second Aunt Vivian,
Yes,
and
you were.
the day that I got that role, I cried. I was so happy. But I was asked to audition for that show when it first started. And I had just come off of 3 back-to-back series with my husband. And we said, we're moving to Virginia. See y'all. and, And we moved, and I got a call from my agent. We've got a show for you to audition for. It's with a young rapper. And I said, peace out. No thanks. And I didn't go on the audition. So when the show came on that fall, I'm sitting on my farm, and oh, what a cute show that is. So I started watching the show. 3 years later, I had done a couple of other pilots and some other work, but they called me and said, we have an audition for you for the Vivian part of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I said, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Wow.
And it took 2.5 weeks of auditioning. I had 4 callbacks, the original audition, and then 4 callbacks. And by the 3rd audition, I got to work with James Avery. And I did a scene with James Avery. I just fell in love with the man. He was just so warm and wonderful. And I guess we clicked. And the final audition was for the network. And we did the scene again. And that's history.
Wow.
Cried when they called me the next day and said, we want you to start. I was thrilled.
Look at God. Look at God. That's what I'm talking about. Now, Daphne, how much say so did the cast have as far as it goes for the auditions? Like, did Will and James and Tatiana, all of them, Karen, did they have any say so of saying, yes, let's have her? No, we don't want her. Did they have any say so at all?
I have no idea. It was mostly the network people, the producers, there was a big group of people in the last audition. And I think there were a lot of network heads. I think Quincy might have had something to do with it, but I'm not sure he was in the room that time. But I knew Quincy, so he knew me and he knew my work. So I don't know if I can answer that question. I know they each had different ways of auditioning, and they have stories to tell that they're going to tell on the reunion that we do about their auditioning trials and tribulations. But it was just a joy, and they welcomed me like I had been there the whole time. I was received with dozens of red roses and just a warm hug from everybody. And we just started working and never missed a beat.
Wow. Now, Ms. Reid, I have to ask this question because I know for many years, this question has been on my mind, and I know it's been on the mind for a lot of people in America also. That infamous line that Jazz said on your first episode, was that planned?
Yes.
Was that a planned line?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes, they wrote that. They had to do some sort of transition. It was obvious. I was not pregnant, I was not tall, and I was not dark-skinned. So there's somebody else walking in here calling herself Vivian. And I thought that was the classiest way that a character was transitioned. And for Will to just break the fourth wall and shrug at the camera, never said a word about it, and it was like it never happened.
But you don't understand, Daphne. Like, when I saw the episode when it first originally showed, and I was like, whoa, can they do that on TV like that? And then when I got the DVDs, I rewinded that part because Jazz looks like he just popped it off the top of his head. And Will, like, it caught Will off guard, and Will was like, I was like, whoa, in your facial expression. You was like, huh, what are you talking about? Always being here. That's how you were looking. You three played that off so well. I mean, a lot of people just went crazy over that. They really did.
Yeah, a lot of people did go crazy because they were missing the other Aunt Vivian, and I heard a lot about that.
Well, I will put it to you like this. That show is infamous with with you up there, the whole show, you guys changed the whole network. You really did. NBC blew up off of that.
A
And
great family.
yes, yes, definitely. Next show. If I'm not mistaken, this reunion show is gonna be on HBO, correct?
Correct. HBO Max.
HBO Max. Now, when can everybody see this reunion show?
As far as I know, it's Thanksgiving weekend, but we don't have a firm date from HBO. I don't know. Maybe they
Okay.
surprised me. It was a surprise.
Wow. Now, did it catch you off guard knowing that there was going to be a reunion show for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
We got an email that asked if we wanted to participate in a reunion. And I said, yeah. We had done a Zoom reunion with about 5 of us. And it was fun. And it got a lot of play online. So I guess Will decided to do it because Will produced it. His production company produced it.
Westbrook.
So he invited us, and everything was secret. Everything was secret. We couldn't talk about it. We couldn't tell anybody where we were going. We each stayed in a different hotel. He said, I don't want y'all together until we hit the set. And we all were separated. Now, we've been socializing together for the past 30 years, so we chat.
Of course.
So we're all going, this is crazy. What is this going to be? What is this surprise? What is going on? So we all finally got to the set. And because of COVID, there's all sorts of regulations now. And everybody's masked, and everybody was so on point and squirting and we were the only ones who were allowed not to have masks. So we all descended on the set when it was time to get started, and we just started an actual reunion. We had not seen everybody together in years, and it was a joy. It was just, this whole show is such a joyful, oh, y'all are gonna love this show. It was a blast. We had more surprises on set, and they just kept coming, surprise after surprise. And I'm going, wow. It was an amazing, amazing experience.
Now, speaking of an amazing experience, because I know that was an amazing experience, I'm going to rewind a little bit. I'm going to go back in time a little bit again. Now, how was it during the original shootings of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when the camera wasn't rolling? How was the environment? What was it like what people couldn't see?
We each had our own little dens, our rooms, and I like to hang out with James because he had moody lighting, he played jazz, and he read books. So I'd sit in there and listen to music and read, or I'd sit in my own dressing room, and so I was making clothes sitting back there. Karen had a room that was just so cool with a hot pink couch and black walls. It was just amazing. But we would meet in the hall, would have lunch together, but we mostly were in our rooms between rehearsals. When we got on the set for rehearsals, we were on the couch just jaw-jacking. I mean, we did more talking. They would say, are y'all going to rehearse today? No, we got this conversation going. We're talking philosophy here. I mean, we had great conversations. So it's always been a very warm environment. Will and Alfonso were always doing boy things that were music related and dancing, and Will was always plotting and planning. He's such a great businessman. He just always had a gang of people around him and was looking toward the future. He just was an amazing person with a very smart background and very keen instincts, and it has served him well. It's been a pleasure to watch him bloom.
Yes, yes. Big shout outs to Will. If you're watching this, big shout outs to you, Alfonso, Karen, the whole cast. Big shout outs to you guys. Tatiana, can't forget Tatiana Ali. Can't forget them. And and rest in peace, James. I mean, geez, man, you are missed. You really are missed.
He really is.
Man, that's the thing. That reunion, I know it wasn't the same without James, but
we did a tribute.
I know the surprises.
It's a beautiful tribute to James. You're gonna love it. And I get to have other memories with James because he was my second husband. When my husband wasn't available to do something, I would call his wife up, say, Barbara, I need your husband next weekend. And she said, oh, okay, take him. And we would do events together. And that was fine. All four of us used to travel together. And we went to Joe's wedding in London and had a blast. I mean, so we had a relationship outside of the show and mutually respectful of all the things that we were all doing at the time. It was a great time for innovation and Black folks getting opportunities at that time. And Tim was getting to take advantage of them. And it was an exciting, exciting time.
Ooh, good gosh. And that's something that I believe every fan would love to just sit on set and just watch you guys. I know it was live in a studio audience, when it was first originally showed, but just that reunion show, just to be around you guys, I mean, I know that would have been an awesome experience. Very awesome.
Yes.
Now, make sure you do stay tuned. Try to find out when this reunion show is. It's something you do not want to miss on HBO Max. I'm going to spoil something that Miss Daphne Reid said one time. She don't know I might say this, but there was so much footage that was shot. Don't know which type of footage they're going to use. And that's crazy also. And you should expect that because when you bring all these characters back together, you don't know what's going to happen. And it caught everybody off guard also. So everybody, HBO Max, let's hope Thanksgiving weekend. Check it out. Make sure you do it. Now, Ms. Reid, you named some of the shows that you have been on, but are there any other shows? Can you name some more shows that you have actually appeared on or movies that you have appeared on that people can actually turn around and try to watch?
Oh, I pop up a lot on old time TV doing things like the A-Team and Hill Street Blues and Simon and Simon and now Netflix has Sister, and I did one episode of Sister, so I'll pop up there. I pop up around a lot. My favorite show is Frank's Place, and you cannot access that because it's hidden in the world. I don't know why, but that was one of my favorite shows. Another favorite I had was on Showtime for 2 years, starring her name will come to me. See, there goes the old people memory. But it was a show called Lynx, and it starred Stephen Williams and girlfriend. Oh, come on, Foxy Brown.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Why her name is not coming to me right now. But an icon. That's an icon. Yes. We had 2 years of some of the most fun. I got to play a hooker on that show, but I was a hooker unlike other hookers because I played the stock market and I only did senators. So I judges maybe, so I was very
classy hooker.
Kind of a hooker. Yeah. But I had a blast. It had some of the best lines. The show was created by Tim and his partner, Susan Fales Hill, who is an incredible writer and producer. And Charles Randolph Wright was one of the writers, and he is Broadway king. He did the Motown. He directed Motown on Broadway. I mean, we had come in contact with and had relationships with some of the most incredibly talented people. I feel blessed. I feel like I'm sitting on the sidelines watching great stuff go on, and I get to play.
Wow. Wow. Now, Ms. Reid, are there any other projects that you're working on right now that you would like to let everybody know about?
Well, right after Thanksgiving, on December 1st, a movie that I did in March is coming on called The Business of Christmas. And it's a beautiful little movie about a family that owns a toy store. And I got to have a lot of fun with that. And I got a gorgeous family. Ooh, check out that poster if you get a chance. The Business of Christmas, because it's an amazing little film that was produced by this wonderful Black woman out of Florida, Jamie. And she just had a wonderful, wonderful script. We had a good time doing it. And I got out of California 3 days before they locked it down for COVID. So that was a squeaker.
Wow. Business of Christmas, everybody. How can everybody watch this movie when it comes out?
That will be on BET. It was going to be on Netflix, and BET bought it from Netflix. I didn't know they could do that.
I didn't know that neither.
So it's going to be on BET, their streaming network, which I think is attached to their regular network, but I'm not sure.
Everybody, December the 1st, make sure. Exactly. First, make sure you watch Business of Christmas. Check it out on BET. I told you, Daphne did not stop in her career. She keeps going and going. She really do. Yes. Now, Daphne, what's the best way for everybody to keep up with you on social media?
On social media, it's Ms. Daphne, MS Daphne, and the number 13. Bad luck for some folks, excellent for me. Ms. Daphne 13. And that's my handle there. I have another one on Instagram that's not as much about me as that one is, but it's called Daphne M. Reid. And Daphne is a simple word. Don't add letters to it. It's just three little letters long. Just DAPHNE. Don't add any I's, no Y's. Just DAPHNE. And the Reid is REID, like the German folks reads. So that's that. And I have a webpage, DaphneMaxwellReid.com. And it shows all the designing that I do, the books that I've written, the cookbook that I have for sale, note cards that I do. I still do photography. I still do design. I do custom design work for certain clients. I have a style that I set, and people want to partake that style, and I'm anxious to let them do it.
Hey, everybody, make sure you do follow Miss Reid on social media. Like she said, do not fancy up her name. Don't add no I's and Y's. You heard what she said. It's DAPHNE. Don't add no I's and Y's, because you're not going to find her that way. Make sure you check out her website also. Get the cookbook. Get it.
Reid. Got it.
Yes. Make sure you get it. Now, Ms. Reid, I know you're a busy woman, so I'm not going to keep you much longer. And I know you did this earlier in the show, but I'm going to ask you again.
Yes, sir.
Well, you said it earlier, but I'm going to ask you now. What advice would you give any male or female that wants to get into the movie industry, television industry, as an actor or a producer or an actress? What would you tell them right now?
Read books. Read books. If you want to be an actor, read novels. Read historical novels. Read books where they develop characters, because that's what you're going to have to do once you're able to get a job. So read. But also, my husband taught me this, and I pass it on whenever I get the opportunity. But don't let the successes go to your head, and don't let the failures go to your heart. It doesn't have anything to do with you personally. You do your best at every occasion, and the jobs that are yours, you will get.
Ooh, that is deep. That is deep. Everybody, I hope you've been taking notes. I mean, success. Don't let it go to your head. Don't let the failures go to your heart, because you get a big head in this business. Trust me, somebody's going to pop your head, and you don't
Get
want that.
in your own way. That's all.
That's very true. Now, Miss Daphne, last segment of the show is called Take the Floor. Now
Okay.
you have up to 2 minutes to say whatever's on your mind. No questions asked. Miss Daphne Reid, take the floor.
If you don't vote, it's going to be more of a catastrophe than you think you've seen so far. Go vote, make a plan, take a friend, take a family member. Go vote. It is too late to mail your ballot now. Drop it off at a registrar's office. Check your state and see how they are doing it, where to drop it. Do not let this opportunity to speak your voice pass. This is one of the most important times of not only your life, but your children's life. Things are going to change for the worse. We'll be back in 1950 and we'll have to start this process all over again if you do not voice your voice. Go vote. I cannot express that any more stridently. And if you're wise, you'll put Biden and Harris where they belong, in the White House.
That's what I'm talking about, everybody. Go vote. Definitely go vote. And everybody that's watched the show before, you've heard me say this before. I will say it again. 2016, do not quote me on this number, but I think it was close to 100 million people that did not vote. And they always said, you know what? It's just me not voting. Mine don't count. 100 million people said the same thing that you said. And look at what happened. Now, two things could have happened in 2016. And I throw this out there and I will throw it out there again. One, we could have had a different president. Or two, the president we have would have had way more votes. But regardless, your voice counts. Make sure you do it. You heard Daphne. Go out there. If you can go to the gas station, do lottery for 5-10 minutes every week.
Go vote.
Yes, if you can go out, eat for
Don't
30 minutes.
Just think of the president. Think of your senators. You see what happened when you don't have the senators who make sense in the majority. Things get very lopsided. Don't let that happen. Think about the entire ticket. And when you're thinking in your community, know that the supervisors and the school board and the mayors are just as important as the president. Make sure you are showing the world what would be best for you.
Yes, yes. You heard it here first, y'all. Go vote. You can take time to do everything else in your life. Take an hour, however long the line is. Stand at that line. Do it. It's only one day we're telling you out of the year to go do this. And you only vote once every 4 years. Go do it. You heard it. Now, Ms. Daphne Reid, thank you very much for coming on the show. Really enjoyed you. I would love to have you back on in the future.
Call me. I'm around.
Got you. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, go to HBO Max. Thanksgiving weekend. Check out the reunion show. You don't want to miss it. Check out the website for Miss Daphne Maxwell Reid. Go follow her on Instagram. Do not add no I's and Y's. You know how to spell the name. All right, guys. Next episode, my next guest, as usual, you know I never announce my next guest. You got to stay tuned. And also, once again, you go check out Miss Daphne Reid. Until the next time, everybody, on the Big Scoop with Coop.